Hey everybody, it's me again. What I've heard from people is they decided they really wanted to hear part 2 of my paranormal experiences. Again, this will be kind of vlog style. No script because I just don't like writing scripts. And I feel like I'm better if I can just kind of go with it as I think of it. Sorry this is getting uploaded a little bit late. I decided I wanted to play Fallout all day today instead of doing everything else that I needed to do, like cleaning and laundry. So I'm going to have to figure out what I'm wearing to work tomorrow. But anyway, you guys don't want to hear that. You guys want to hear my paranormal experiences. This one has been the one that's really most terrified me just in my life. It's been the one that has made the largest impact on me as a person and has kind of changed me as far as how I deal with the paranormal. Anyway, so this is one that I did submit to another narrator to read, but you know, it'll be different me telling it in this style than if he read it. And honestly, I don't think that I did a very good job of writing it. But, here goes nothing. So I graduated high school back in 2010. And I went to the local, kind of community college, I guess. I went to the local college right after high school. It didn't work out, that's why I'm going back. But, you know, I really wanted to have a lot of fun while I was there. Not exactly study like I should have been. But, you know, that's in the past. Yeah. But anyway, so part of that having fun is I got involved with some people that went on, you know, they called them ghost hunts, you know, just paranormal investigation type things. My first time with the group was going to be at the school in our arts and like English building. This college has been around like for a very long time. There's a building on the campus that's been around for many years, like long before the campus was really there. Let me Google it right quick. Maybe I can find let's see. It was actually founded in 1884. So, it's no longer called that, the college that it was anymore, because of some things that happened. But it's an old college, and I think that particular one of those particular buildings had been there since the 1800s. Because what I was told, I don't know if this is true or not, if it's just something that, you know, people just like to say, is that one of the particular buildings on this campus had been around since the Civil War. And they actually used this campus as a hospital for a while. So there's all of that information and all of that energy there, along with the energy that the students brought to the place, and it became something kind of mixed up and just crazy because all these different energies were coming in and just like clashing in this one area, and that sometimes meant that bad things would happen. But I never really was scared while I was on the campus until then. And it made me really not want to be inside that one particular building, but the art building, not the one that's been around that long. The art building has been around since the 50s, maybe 40s. Not quite sure on that. But I went on this investigation with this group, and we started with about 6 people, and we did our little pre-investigation meeting, and we split up in our groups, and the goal was to get all 3 floors, the ground floor, the second floor, and the third floor, and then everyone meet back up to do the basement. Well, my group started on the 3rd floor. And I kept hearing noises and stuff. I kept hearing piano music, which was very odd unless a teacher, like a professor, had left a radio or something playing in their office, which I doubt because it was a weekend, and usually those things, it was very well policed as far as that goes. They would turn off everything. And no one in our group of people knew how to play the piano, at least as well as what I was hearing. And I was the only one hearing it too, so that was a little odd. But, and I kept smelling funeral flowers, which also was strange because there were no flowers that I knew of on that floor. Again, unless a professor had flowers delivered to their office earlier that day. Which, again, I don't know because all the offices were locked, But it was odd because, again, I was the only one who smelled those flowers. But I could have just been hallucinating. Never know. And since I can't prove that it wasn't actual flowers, then, I can't say anything about it. Well, we go about our business. We get down to the 2nd floor. And I hear something inside of the dark room. So we sit outside the dark room and we just talk, and nothing much happens. We get some static on the we're using a phone to do all of the EVPs and photographs because, we're poor college kids. But we get some static on the EVP that we recorded, and again, it could have been interference. It could have been someone's hand brushing over the mic on the phone, all these different things. Well, after that, everything is really, really inconclusive, basically. So, we all meet up and we go down to the basement. Now, the basement of this building is full of props and costumes and set pieces because this building is the main auditorium for the school, and it's where they held all the plays and whatnot. So it was stuffed with stuff, Um, and a lot of that stuff was things that were donated, that were picked up at estate sales, that were picked up in, thrift shops. You have no clue where these things really came from sometimes. So that, brought a bunch of other energies into this building, where you wouldn't know exactly what it was. But then, we went down there, everything's fine. The guy leading it had heard that UV light could attract spirits, so he set one up in the basement, and we're all nearby it. The lights are out, and then he says, "We should turn out the light." I'm like, "Oh, I don't like that. Like, there's something there, like, kind of telling me, don't turn out the light. That's not a good idea." Like, I don't know if that's, like, if it was my intuition or something else. I don't know. But something is telling me, do not turn out that light and get the hell out. The basic white girl that I am, I did not listen. I did tell him that we shouldn't turn out the light, but I didn't leave. I should have left, but I didn't, because I'm dumb. But anyway, so we're standing there, and he's like, "No, I'm going to turn out the light anyway." I'm like, ugh. So he goes over, he flips off the light, and in the few seconds it takes for him to turn off the light, get back to where he was sitting, and sit down, I start to feel extremely cold. I'm a very warm-natured person, like extremely warm-natured, and it takes a lot for me to really feel cold. The building itself was kind of warm. It was actually very warm. And it was also summer still. It was like early October, and where I am, it's still summer. During October, it's so hot. But, the building was hot. I should not have been cold. But I got freezing cold. And I told one of the guys that was with us, I was like, "Y'all, I'm not feeling so good." And they immediately got all excited, like, "Oh, wow, something's interacting with her." And then I felt something kind of like go around my throat, and it felt like it was squeezing, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. And I started to go into a panic attack because I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was being compressed and squished in, and my claustrophobia just like kicked in, and I started to panic. I'm pretty sure I ended up passing out. There's like this just a little bit of time where I was standing, and then I was being held by one of the guys. There's like this blank there, so I'm pretty sure I passed out. And we went back upstairs, and we were like, "Okay, it's time to call it a night." On my neck, there were red marks. They faded. They didn't stay very long. They were gone within a couple hours. I contacted one of the guys that caught me, and he said I had little scratches all around my eyes. I didn't know until I went to wash my face the other night, and it burned. He's like, I had to get my mom's like magnification mirror to see them. So, that really weirded me out, and that really concerned me. I started doing research and everything about, why did this happen? What could this have been? And all this other stuff. And a few things started happening in my house. Now, my house was built brand new back in 2000. This was, of course, 10 years later, but nothing bad had ever happened in this house. Nothing bad happened on this land that we are very aware of because, I mean, it was all woods. I mean, we live on a golf course, but, there was nothing here, and nothing bad happened here, as far as we know, especially not in this house. Little things started to happen in the house, and we joked and said that it was a family member who had passed away, but they seemed a little more malicious than what this person would have done. And it really worried me for a while. Well, the next semester, we decided to do it again, and I was invited again, because I apparently, caused things to happen. Oh, good for me. But, and sorry if you hear squeaking, I'm on my bed, but they invited me back, and I gladly accepted, and we broke up into groups again. Well, this time we had larger groups, and we were able to break these groups. We had 2 groups, and we were able to break these 2 groups off into smaller groups. It was very uneventful until the end of my night, anyway. About 11, and me and one other person, we were in a piano practice room on the first floor. We were doing an EVP session, and I heard this commotion from the floor above, and I hear just feet pounding down the steps. I hear the door swing open, because it's a push bar door, so I hear that the bar get pushed, the door swings open, I hear running through the little entryway and out the door to the outside of the building. The door slams shut. I hear the door open and shut, slam shut again. But the thing is, I didn't hear any footsteps. That would have been impossible. I would have heard footsteps. I mean, we were right there beside that door. We get up out of our practice room and we head over to the door to see what's going on. About that time, some of the other people in the group, swing open the door, and, big scare there, because we weren't expecting that. And they're like, what happened? We said, we don't know. We heard a commotion. We heard footsteps running down the stairs. We heard the door open and close. We heard more footsteps, and then we heard the door open and close to the outside. And then we heard the door to the stairway open and close again, but we didn't hear any footsteps. Well, they get the girls that ran out of the building and bring them back inside and ask what happened. And they said, we heard her name, and they pointed to me. Something called her name. We were near the dark room on the second floor. We heard something call her name, and we ran. Because we saw a shape in the hall. They booked it out. They asked me, why would there be something on the second floor that knew your name? I said, well, I'm taking photography this semester. I use the dark room a lot. It's on the second floor. And he said, has anything happened? I said, well, a couple days ago, I was in the dark room. I was alone, and I felt something tugging on the back of my shirt. And the way the dark room is set up, there was nothing there for my shirt to get caught on. And I was like, and since then, I always have a friend with me. I'd find someone to sit in the dark room with me. It just kind of freaked me out. And, I don't know. And after that, they said, well, we're going to have to ask you to go home. This kind of thing shouldn't be happening. And because it has apparently targeted you, I think it's dangerous for the rest of us here. And I was like, okay, well, fine. Let me go home then, where this thing could follow me. I mean, why not? I didn't say it, but I was thinking it. So I go home. Everything I have after this is what I was told by a friend. I don't remember anything after this. I was told that a few hours later, my friend who was in the piano room with me came over to the house to check on me. He said that I was sitting in the middle of my living room floor with all these papers around me, and there were like words and drawings and things on there, and which is really weird because I do not draw. I'm a horrible artist. Do not draw. And he said they were actually kind of good, and that was weird for me. And I mean, he's known me for several years. Like, he knows that I can't draw. And that it's not like a hidden talent that I'm trying to keep from people. I really cannot draw. And he immediately called a friend who came and blessed the house, blessed me. And I haven't had any problems since. But I'm worried I'm going to be going back to that school soon. And I'm very worried that it's going to start up again. Because that school, there's something there that does not like me. Whether it was attached to me before and went to the school with me, or if it was something that was there and it just liked me, I don't know. But it worries me a little. And since then, it's been very difficult for me to go on investigations. And for me to even want to investigate, because I don't want to open myself up to that again and have that happen again, because that was terrifying. The fact that I don't remember, like, apparently a couple hours out of my life, not even by choice, that's terrifying to me. That's like horrifying. And I don't want anyone to ever have to experience that. But anyway, again, this was not scary. This was not, super spooky, because when I read something with a script, totally spooky. But, when I'm just talking, I'm talking for a reason. I'm just chilling, We're just chilling today. So, again, follow me on Twitter if you want to. That is at darkest.hour.videos. So, sorry. At darkest.hour.videos. As in hour, as in, HOUR. Excuse me for a moment. But, that's my Twitter. My Instagram is, I think, darkest.hour.videos. Let me, double check that. I should probably have all this stuff pulled up before I make a video. Because, that would actually be smart and intelligent. But, yes, it's darkest.hour.videos. If you want to send me your own paranormal experiences, my email address is darkest.hour.videos@gmail.com. I will have that in the description below. I don't really have any more personal paranormal experiences that are in the line of spooky or scary. The rest are just ones that I had at my house that were family members. My previous house. That was family members. Nothing spooky, scary about that. I can talk about some of the urban legends in my town if you'd like to hear that. We have a few. We actually have several. And we have several, haunted places around my state. I mean, honestly, we have considered one of the most haunted towns in the country in my state. One of, I didn't say the, but one of, and that would be Savannah. Tons of things that I know about Savannah. I actually have a little bit of an experience in Savannah. Not scary, but, it's a little bit of an experience. So if you are interested in hearing urban legends, leave me a comment. If you're interested in hearing stories about hauntings in Savannah, leave me a comment below. let me know which one. If you would like me to continue on with Abandoned by Disney, which I am going to finish doing, because I really love that creepypasta, and it's one of my favorites. Disney is one of my favorite things in the entire world. Aside from war movies. Disney, and it's like I go watch Little Mermaid, then I go watch Platoon. I mean, why not? But, leave me a comment down below about if you want to hear urban legends or stories from Haunted Savannah next. And these will be things that I pull off the internet as far as Savannah goes. And if it's urban legends, I'll talk about some local ones, I'll talk about some of the more popular ones, and I'll give you a small little lesson in urban legends and urban lore. Along with that, because I love history, and I love how history connects different types of things in the world, and all that. It's so much fun to me. But again, if you want to send me your own stories, please do, because I would love to read them. Please do make sure that they are proofread and all that. I would very much appreciate that. As far as I know, I think I'm off on Wednesday, so I might be able to do a video. If I'm not off on Wednesday, then I'll figure out another day that I can take, that afternoon after work to give you some more stuff. But anyway, thank you so very much for listening to this random video of me talking to you. Again, I'm sorry it wasn't that spooky, but hey, we're just chilling right now. We're all buddies, we're all pals. Let's just chill a little bit. All right. Anyway, have a wonderful, wonderful day or evening, whatever it happens to be for you. Sweet dreams.